Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet for me is...
I am Brody John, and across the interwebs for me is...
Amy.
On today's show, we talk to the midwives of the Nest Birthing Center in Mansfield about what they provide and what being a midwife means to them.
We also talked to Ann Garrity of Symphony Arlington about how they started and what people can look forward to in the upcoming season that starts October 14th.
I just have to make an editorial comment here that I did not approve this Mansfield story, and I don't know how it snuck on here. I have a feeling Amy had something to do with it, and she's got some stuff to talk about later, but just for everyone in Arlington, I just want to sincerely apologize. No, I'm just kidding. It was a great interview. Wonderful place. It's all good. Mansfield's our neighbor to the south. We love them.
Yeah, honestly, I just moved to Mansfield. We're really enjoying it. We are central. I mean, where we lived, we're central to several grocery stores. We have a Sprouts, we have a Kroger, we have a Walmart, and then a ton of local businesses, right? We have a revolving sushi place. We've got all kinds of things. And we weren't meaning to move to Mansfield. Arlington is really expensive right now, renting, buying, and everywhere in between. So if you can't afford it, Mansfield is a great sister city, and they have a great school system too as well. I mean, why not?
Ooh, what? Who booed that? That was weird. Anyway, no, I'm glad you're having a good time in Mansfield. I've been to Mansfield a handful of times, and every time I leave, just like I felt about Denton, I was like, you know what, this place is not bad. Now look at Denton. Denton's cool as hell, so maybe Mansfield is gonna be cool as hell one day too.
Yeah, you're not far from El Primo, and I love that place. It has a rooftop patio that is phenomenal. It's not the best view, but you're at a great intersection down there. But they do have great margaritas. So, but any rooftop anything is awesome. Arlington doesn't, unless you count Mercury Chop House. So
true, we don't have very many of those. That's something that the city is sorely missing.
We're at a point now where we've been discussing Arlington, investing in Arlington for a long time, but there's a lot of other places in the Metroplex, that have a lot of value. And I'm not going to say Fort Worth. They already have plenty of podcasts, right? Does Mansfield have anything? No. But they do have a great birthing center.
They do have that.
Cameron Sings does come from Mansfield.
That's fair.
Yes.
That is fair.
Yep.
Look, I'm not saying that I hate Mansfield. I'm just saying this is not a Mansfield podcast. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested in hearing about Symphony Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Symphony Arlington.
Yeah.
Right,
their
for those...
upcoming season is all Mozart, so that is going to be phenomenal.
Look at that. Starting around my birthday. I've never been. Maybe I need to go.
I thought
taking some class.
Gotta dress up, put your nice shirt and tie on, maybe some slacks.
Nah, it's gonna be like a tuxedo shirt, like a tuxedo t-shirt.
Okay. There you go, even better.
Yeah, I'm gonna have like a jacket on, but it's gonna look like a tuxedo jacket. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
You look fancy, but you're still there to party.
That's my motto.
Yeah.
So, Rody, what did you do in our city this week? Because you've been out and about. You're always out and about. You're out and about more than anyone I know.
Every day. I have been to Inclusion Coffee. I went there yesterday. Almost every Wednesday, you can catch me and a couple of our friends and loyal listeners at Dr. Jekyll's. I have...
sometimes I'm there.
Yeah, sometimes you're there. Tierra Verde, they been out there. You hit some golfy balls.
Amy, you would love that place because the logo is Star Trek font on the rock.
Ooh, I would love that.
It's true. It's beautiful out there. We didn't check the holes out, but I'm sure the course is fantastic as well. So
I'm into it.
Yeah. And it's not too far from you. It's right off 287.
Right? Honestly, like I said, Mansfield's right down the road from Arlington.
You're actually where Arlington cuts off to Mansfield is literally up the street from you.
It is.
Yeah, right behind that Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah, but there's nothing down there, right? Like it's just houses and like the YMCA.
Okay. No, actually.
Isn't there a YMCA really far down there?
I want to talk about something because, all right, when I'm dropping my daughter off to her grandma's, I go down Collins, okay, from Matlock. I go from Matlock, drive down, turn on whatever street, end up on Collins. I don't even know. But there is a place, it's a rec center in Arlington called The Beacon.
Yeah, it's big.
The Beacon. It is amazing. This is an Arlington funded, city funded rec center that has an indoor pool, an outdoor pool, an entire outdoor park, and then an entire indoor soccer center, tennis, racquetball, like anything. And it is an amazing facility. Every time I drive by it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we've got to be a part of that. So if you're an Arlington resident, it only costs like $40 a month or something for a family. If you're not,
but if you're a Mansfield resident,
exactly, it costs $140, right? And I'm like, man, I really want to get in that rec center. But, if you're an Arlington resident and you haven't checked out some of our rec centers, this is the one, man, the Beacon. It is incredible. And it's sitting on probably, 50 acres of land, with trails and, it's incredible. We love it every time we drive by.
Yeah, I would drive by it sometimes and I was like, this looks like a smaller Lifetime Fitness. And it has almost everything that it has as well.
Yeah, but cheaper, right? Way cheaper. And just so you know, if you're an Arlington resident and you're signed up for the rec centers, you not only get access to the Beacon in particular, but you get access to all of the rec centers in Arlington. And then if you want to sign up your child for a sport at any of the rec centers, you get a huge discount. So it only ends up being like $20, for your kid to do a season of basketball or soccer or whatnot.
That is a steal of a deal.
Yeah.
Speaking of steals of deals, I'm going to use that as a segue. So we've been doing this podcast for a while. Almost over 2 years at this point. And it's a labor of love. We love doing it. We enjoy doing it. We've met so many incredible people. We've connected with so many artists, so many businesses, so many leaders in our city. I've talked to people that I never thought that I would be able to talk to. And I've learned all these things about people that live and work in this city. But, it's expensive to do this. It's not free to do this for us, unfortunately. And, if anyone's listened to NPR, unfortunately, what we're getting ready to do here is basically a pledge drive. We have a Patreon set up. We've just got that recently set up, and, we'd love everyone to check it out. If you want to help us keep doing what we're doing, we'd really appreciate it. Got a couple different tiers up there. Not very expensive. We're just looking to cover our costs. We're not looking to be rich off this. I just want to do it, love the city, but I also love my kids and want them to be in dance classes. And, if we can pay for podcast hosts, I think that would be really cool. I'd appreciate that. It'd be really fun. But definitely check it out. If you're interested, we'd love to, have you on board our Patreon. We got some tiers with some exclusive benefits, like you'll receive early access to the podcast and video performances from musicians and bands that we have on our show. And actually, we have our first sponsor. We have a monthly sponsor too, Brandon McLaughlin, actually, musician Brandon McLaughlin. Friend of the pod, definitely friend of the pod now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We got to shout you out at every show because it's incredible and we really appreciate it. Not only, we appreciate that, we've loved working with you. Rhodey and I had a great time with you at the Cove last week, which you'll all hear later in July. But, we'd appreciate the support and it would really help us get more cool stuff out there.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Brandon McLaughlin. Go check out his single and video.
Yes.
Burn It Down. It is fantastic. He talked a little bit about it. Go watch the video and then you'll get to hear the behind the scenes whenever we put the interview out. But again, if you enjoy what we're doing for the city, it is a labor of love, but some money would go great because there's a lot of times people are like, hey man, I want a t-shirt. And you know what? T-shirts are expensive. So
We barely have T-shirts for ourselves.
Yeah, we barely.
I don't even think you have one anymore, Amy. I think
No,
it disintegrated.
So we want to provide you content, and then T-shirts. So help us help you is basically what it's all about.
Yeah, please. Thank you. And thank you for listening and thank you for supporting.
Absolutely. So if you want to get to the Patreon, it is just patreon.com/Arlington Citizen Media, and that'll get you to us.
Okay, I am here at the Nest Birthing Center here in Mansfield, Texas. I am here with 6 other women. I'm going to let them say their names and who they are, and then we can go from there.
Jolene Finley. I'm a licensed midwife here at the Nest Birth Center.
Hi, I'm Lisa Reel. I'm the owner, the clinical director, and a midwife here at the Nest.
I'm Sarah DeMarco. I'm recently certified and waiting on my licensure.
I'm Vicki Greenhaw. I'm a student midwife. I'm in my assist phase.
I'm Mabry Smith. I'm a student midwife in the observe phase.
And I'm Haley Stabork, and I'm a student midwife in my primary midwife under supervision phase.
There we go. So for those that don't know, what is a birthing center or birth center for those, again, that may not know?
A birth center is pretty much a mediator between having a home birth and having a hospital birth. So it's really for people who they're not quite ready to jump full in and have a home birth, but they don't want to be at a hospital. And so we have it set up very much like home, the bedrooms and things like that. But we have all of our medical supplies kind of tucked away, so it doesn't look like it's a medicalized environment when you come in.
Right. Now, I know some of these birthing centers, and I guess they're suites. I mean, I don't know exactly. Okay. Yep. So some of them have actual tubs in them. Yes. So for those that want to do water tub or water births and so forth, how does that go about? How do you, I guess, decide which one?
It's really up to the mom.
Right. Okay.
Honestly, they come in and they either love the room or they hate the room.
Right.
Mostly
they
everybody.
They all love our rooms.
They do. Well, we have a couple to choose from.
Right.
Some of them like the more cozy room where the tub's not out.
Right.
Some of them, they want the more open space. But really, it's really when they're having their baby that determines they either love it or they hate it.
Right,
honestly,
exactly.
Because we have a lot of women that sign up and yes, they want, the water birth that they see the videos on, but they get in it and they absolutely hate the water.
Right.
We have other moms that they don't want to, and we're like, no, just try it. And when they finally do, they love the water. So it's really, again, up to the mom what, in the moment, what she feels like she's comfortable with.
Right. So, okay, I'm a man, shockingly, and I've never actually given birth. Again, shocking.
No.
It's weird, right? I never thought that would happen.
Crazy. So,
from what I've seen, how do the drugs come in? How, if they want them or not? How does everything else kind of so when do you guys step in from what trimester to birth and then or where? And
so we do everything an OB-GYN does except surgery.
Gotcha.
Which is great because a low risk healthy woman does not need surgery.
Right.
So we look at OBs as the what's the next level? Specialist.
Yeah.
Thank you. A specialist if they're needed, but in a low risk healthy woman, this is a physiological process. Right. It's not a medical condition.
Right.
So it can become a medical condition. So we're highly trained to watch and monitor and do everything they do, which is take their labs, we check their urine, we measure their belly, we listen to the baby.
Right.
We watch the growth, we check the mom's glucose, we do everything on the same schedule that an OB does. So we have, they're in our care from the beginning to 6 weeks postpartum.
Wow. Okay.
So, what was your question again?
Well, all of that. I mean, where do you guys step in? Okay. How do people, I guess, choose you? Yeah. I mean, you raised your hand. Go ahead.
Well, and sometimes the moms, maybe they've had problems getting pregnant or they've had miscarriages, so they'll come to us before to help establish that, so that we can help.
We call that preconception care.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's really whenever we meet with them. We usually draw labs to see if there's any deficiencies, vitamin-wise, things like that. And then mainly it's nutrition. That's the thing that most people don't understand about pregnancy is that 90% of problems can be avoided if you address the nutritional deficiencies. And in the typical American diet, we've got lots of them.
Yeah, shock of shocks. Yeah.
So we're very holistic, but you said when do we step in, or when does it go from natural holistic care to like medical intervention?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so most of our mothers never need any sort of medical intervention.
Good.
So they just have their babies naturally. They don't have pain meds.
Oh, wow,
We call
okay.
the water an aquadural because it really cuts the intensity of those contractions by about 25%.
Wow.
Every woman gets in and goes, oh.
Right.
It's relaxing. When they relax, the perception of the intensity goes down.
Right.
They release more oxytocin.
Right.
So it's just a great little symbiotic situation where each little part helps the other part.
Right.
It's also extremely personal care.
Yeah.
So we're like lifelong friends by the time they have their babies.
Well, yeah, because that process is very intimate and very private. You're not doing that stuff out in public, obviously.
Right.
And so you need that care throughout the entire process.
We spend a lot more time with them in their appointments than OBs do. I always tell clients when they walk in that, with an OB, they spend an hour in the waiting room to see them for 5 minutes. And with us, they never wait. And we spend 45 minutes to an hour with them in their appointments.
Wow.
And a lot of that is not the clinical medical care that we're giving them. It's the relationship building.
Right.
And education. Education is such key, because if you have a mom that actually knows her options and she's informed, she's going to take charge and be able to handle a birth naturally, not with interventions. Whereas typically when you go to a hospital, it's protocol. This is how it's always been done for the last 100 years. And so they don't really know how to do it different. As a matter of fact, OBs rarely see even natural births in school, because that's just not how it's done in the society that we live in, unfortunately. And so most of the time it's building relationships, but it's also educating them on all of their options that they do have.
Right.
And it's very family centric. So in this day and age of COVID, when moms had to go to their appointments by themselves, even their sonograms they had to go by themselves, and sometimes they had to check into the hospital by themselves. It was a very lonely time.
Of course.
And the dad is as important as the mom. It's his baby too, and they were shut out. So here, no one has ever been shut out. They can not only bring their husband, they can bring their kids to their appointments, they can bring their mom, their mother-in-law, their friend, sister, whoever they want to bring.
Right. Now, how did the nest start? And I guess what's the origin story behind it?
Well, each of us had a passion since pretty much childhood to deliver babies. For myself, I knew the moment that I wanted to be a midwife, that I wanted to open a birth center in Mansfield. I lived in Arlington, and my kids were raised in Arlington, but I just felt like there was an opportunity here.
Yeah.
And so it just really was I never doubted that it would work.
Yeah.
Which is a strange thing. As a business owner, you have a lot of doubts, but I never had any doubts about this. I just knew it would work, and I knew that the women in Mansfield and surrounding areas would just love it. And we could make it easier for them and make birth is so special anyway, but to have someone who has such a passion for it, and we just get so excited about it.
We share their joy.
We share it. It's just, it's pure joy. Yeah. And to have somebody that, from the moment they call us to the time we see them at their 6-week appointment, it's fun. Yeah. And it's not so scary, and it's reassuring, and it's supportive.
Right.
So,
as it should be, I believe. I mean, I've never, obviously, I've never carried one.
Yeah, so when you have babies, you need to come see us.
Right.
Our dads come in asking 2 questions. Yeah. Is it safe?
Right.
And what do you do in an emergency? And they leave here like our biggest fans.
Yeah.
And like one of ours keeps saying, I want to teach a class. Yeah. I want to have a dad's group and tell the other dads all about it.
Yeah, so how do you kind of make the dads feel a little more comfortable? Because obviously this is for the women, because they're the ones doing all the work, really. Yeah. But there's the guys that come in and kind of want to know what's going on now. So.
And I will just say this before, Haley, you tell us. At the hospital, men feel helpless.
Right.
They're
I mean, what are you supposed to do?
To that cot on the side, until it's all over. But Haley, tell them what we do.
So the first thing we do is we encourage dads to be a part of all the appointments. As much as possible, we try to work around schedules and make it so that dads can be a part of the care and experience everything that the mom is experiencing. but we also love when dads get involved at the birth. So our favorite thing is when a dad asks or we suggest that he can help catch his own baby.
Wow.
So that's a big deal, that they're getting to be the first one to put their hands on their baby and to help be a part of that process. I think it really helps them to bond to their babies better.
Right.
And we give them, you know how you guys love tools.
Right.
With their first consult, we tell them we're going to give them tools to help their wife have this baby so they don't feel helpless.
Yeah.
And they love it. And they're the superheroes, you know, and she's the superwoman and he's the superhero because she can't do it without him.
Yeah.
And so we really love to make them feel like, as special as they are.
We teach our parents, the mom and dad, that you're not just birthing a baby, you're birthing to be parents.
Right.
So you're a team, and we want you to build this together. And so we teach them even before they go into labor. There's different things that they can do that can help each other. The dad needs to get used to seeing the mom, the cues. What cues is she going to do when she's in pain?
Right.
Think, just different positions that you can get in and practice before you go into labor. There's just different things that you can do, and the dad gets involved way before you're in the delivery room. So when they're in the delivery room, they know what to expect. They know how they're going to handle it, and they're a team. And we're just there to help them be a team.
Right. So how do y'all get everyone kind of, I guess a game mode would be the one good way of saying it, of like, because you can practice all day as to how to catch a baby, what to do when you're having said baby, but what do you guys do to help make them the better team that they should be going into the process?
One of my favorite things that I do now, we are a group practice, but we are also 3 different individual midwives. And so we all have like little things that we love to do or don't like to do or whatever. Right. But the first thing is obviously they need to have a natural childbirth class, because that goes a long way to help the dad really understand what he's getting into.
Right, of course.
But one of my favorite things to do actually is towards the end of pregnancy, right before she's really her due date, usually about 36, 37 weeks, I love to take the parents back into the birth suite and we role play.
Ah, okay.
And that really breaks the ice.
Yeah.
I have noticed with dads. They come to appointments, but once they actually kind of relax after they recognize, okay, when I say XYZ, this is what's going through my mind and this is what I'm thinking, and so this is what I want you to do, so that he knows and mom knows that, maybe there's something that a position change or something like that, or it could be maybe I'm starting to see a few red flags of an emergency thing that could be coming up. So I kind of walk them through that process to help them understand, this is the time we'd get out of the birth tub and onto the bed, and this is the reason why. Again, it goes back to education because it's powerful, and that really does help really good outcomes.
Right.
They feel more prepared. They're not as afraid if you've role played with them. They know kind of what to expect, and they work really well together that way.
Yeah.
Right.
And like Haley said, having them come to as many appointments as possible so that you build a lot of trust between you as the midwife and the dad as well.
Right.
Because when the mom's in labor, we call it Laborland.
Of course.
She can't communicate very well, and he can communicate for her because he knows her better than anybody else.
You would hope, yeah.
So if we have a good, relationship where we can communicate well, he can help me to know, how to say things to her, or he can say them for me, and really help bridge that gap when she's, she can't do it for herself.
And usually it's the dads that call us. Whenever mom's going to labor, you'd think it'd be mom that calls us, and it's not. It's usually dad. He's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, okay, calm down.
Right.
Walk them through it. Let's hear, what does she sound like? Things like that. So it's funny. They're just super excited, and they, want to be a part of the experience. And sometimes they don't know how to put themselves there. So it's really important for us to really anticipate how much care they want to be involved, or some dads, they're afraid and they just really don't want to be involved, and that's okay too.
Right. There is sometimes pressure that happens that they just kind of, I'm not going to say they crumble on, but they just don't know how to face it.
Right.
And so this is a giant pressure that they sometimes, because again, they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
And even then, the windows can be foggy, and they don't exactly know what's exactly happening because they're not feeling it themselves.
Right.
That's a good analogy. We'll have to remember that.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I could help you out.
It's tough in general just to watch someone you love be in pain.
Exactly.
So that's where the education comes in again, is teaching them how to help their partners cope during labor. then they feel like, okay, I'm helping her to relieve some of this pain.
Yep.
I'm not just standing around like, what do I do? How do I
Right.
make her feel better? So,
Yeah. Like, what can I do? So you guys mentioned that you help with the nutrition and everything, which is very important. So I have a friend who's pregnant right now. She's unfortunately had to go. She's got the diabetes because of the fact she's pregnant. So she's having to just eat now here. She has to set alarms, otherwise she wouldn't eat enough and so forth. So how do y'all help when it comes to women knowing when they need to eat this, that, and the other, and what to eat? Because a lot of women, and some men kind of be like, okay, it's sympathy weight. I can just gain it. We can eat whatever.
Right.
Well, that's not how that works when it comes to you're already trying to put nutrients in your child that's forming inside your belly. So, like, how do y'all help when it comes to that?
Well, specifically with like GDM, what you're talking about,
Gestational
obviously,
diabetes.
Yes, sorry.
diabetes. We do testing to see like if we test usually at 28 weeks.
Right.
It's like a 1 hour drink, and then if they fail that, they'll come back for a 3 hour. If they fail that, usually I send them to a nutritionist.
Okay.
And she specializes in GDM.
Right.
And honestly, she'll put my clients on a specific plan. I really like to leave that to the professionals.
Right.
That's what they do. You can kind of help them here and there what to stay away from. Obviously, we know low carb. We can pinpoint. We immediately have them do a diary, and then we have them do like finger pricks at home.
Yeah, that's what she's having to do.
And that way we can really look at her diary and say, okay, which foods are really starting to set you off, and then we know what to stay away from. But just by sending them to the nutritionist, there's a couple of supplements that they put them on. That can really be the difference between having a baby naturally or out of the hospital versus having to go in and have a C-section. Because again, it goes to, if you know what's setting it off and you know how to avoid it, you don't necessarily, you can control it through diet is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And a lot of women, they don't know that.
Yeah.
It's not taught. They put them on medication and automatically they end up in a C-section because they're not changing their diet.
Right.
And that nutrition starts with your first prenatal visit.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when it starts, and you're talking about that at every visit. You're going over, what are you eating? Are you getting your protein? You just keep going over. Are you getting hydration? Are you drinking or eating too much sugar?
Sometimes I feel like a broken record. Mom's like, I'm eating it, and I'm like, okay, good. But it's important. It's that important.
That is very important. Yeah. It's one of the most important things.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, this is a weird transition, but we have a segment on the show called Tournament of Toppings. We're trying to find the best pizza place in Arlington. I know y'all are in Mansfield, and there's there's good pizza places out here.
Right.
What is each one of y'all's favorite pizza place?
Mod Pizza.
Mod Pizza's fantastic.
I really
Yeah. They shut down.
Yeah.
Mellow Mushroom did shut down because it was a foundation issue, wasn't it, out here in
it's
Mansfield?
just a structural deal, but Mod Pizza would be mine. What's yours?
I had mod pizza today.
You had Mod Pizza.
Okay.
Maybe
Mod Pizza.
Today.
I don't know.
I know Trio's Pizza is great. I used to.
live here, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Where do you live?
Maybank.
Oh, wow, that's a.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is there a good pizza place out in Maybank?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
There is
the Tony.
two. Yes, there's
The
two. Actually, we
Tonys.
Okay.
just found
the
one. It's
Tonys.
called Torini's or
Oh, I didn't
That
even
sounds
know.
good.
Or...
It
Yeah.
sounds official.
Sounds Italian. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
The only one I know is
Okay. Do they have garlic bread as well? I guess that'd be the only other. Okay. I imagine with that name. Yeah. Okay. Do you have
Mod
other-
Pizza.
Mod Pizza,
Yeah,
yeah.
we love
I mean,
Mod
out
Pizza.
here in Mansfield, it's great.
Yeah.
Trios also, if you guys get over to Debbie and Matlock, it's
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
Right by the Kroger. So.
Okay.
Now, if you
Yeah.
were gonna say Mexican food, I could tell you straight.
We could
off.
do Mexican food. What's your favorite? Which one?
Mama Cuckoo's.
Yes.
Where's that at?
Cuckoos.
It's off of Cooper, going towards Arlington on the right.
Oh, yes. They have the margarita flights, right? Or am I wrong?
A margarita
Okay.
flight.
Yeah.
We're my wives. We're not allowed to drink.
Oh, wow. There's like 4 or 5
They told
flights,
me
I
to have the
think.
Mansfield margarita.
And then there's,
Oh, that's true.
and then there's Jacarandas,
Which
which
one's
is
that?
over by that. Oh, where is it now? I'm drawing a blank. I think it's over by the Tom Thumb off the Country Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in that.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking
Yes.
about Mocajetes? No.
No, there was one called Jacarandas.
That one's
Oh,
good too.
yeah, that
one's-
place is
yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
Primo's also has really good ones.
Primo's.
I mean, they're a little
Primo's
pricey,
the
but
other
they're
day,
they're
yeah.
still really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Supposed to have a rooftop. No,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they just
There's a
opened.
rooftop
I'd say within this year or maybe
We
last
have to
year.
make that a Team building exercise.
You should, yeah. That way you can check out that nice intersection of Country Club and Matlock. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, besides delivering the baby,
Yes.
we also want to make it really like they're going to a bed and breakfast.
Oh, really?
So we
Okay.
provide a champagne breakfast after the baby's born. We clean everything up.
Yeah.
We put mom in a beautiful robe,
As
and
they
baby in a
should.
matching swaddle. We take pictures.
That's fantastic.
We bring in a meal on a silver tray
Yeah.
with a little candle lit. We sing happy birthday to the baby, and
Okay.
it's just personal,
Yeah.
and pampering, and try to make just the mom feel so special.
Well, I mean, they just went through a journey, and
Yeah.
you know the end result is said baby. So yeah.
We also do skin to skin bonding with dad.
Oh, good.
So after the mom's had the baby and the cord has been cut, we hand the baby to dad, and he goes and lays down on the bed and does skin to skin and gets his little private moment to bond with the baby.
That's fantastic. What other little things do y'all provide and do that you may not see in the hospital?
The parents are.
Oh, sorry.
The parents are highly involved in the newborn exam.
Okay.
After the baby's born, we do a full head to toe physical on the baby,
That's a
and
good
they're
point.
very involved in that. Whereas at the hospital, the baby's taken over to the warmer, and
Right.
mom
Taken away
can't even
from
touch
mom.
that baby because
Right.
they're so far away. And they have no idea what they're looking at. So
Yeah.
we tell them what we're looking at. We, if there's something that we need to give them advice on, we'll do that right there. Dad gets to weigh his baby, which is really cute. You get a really cute
Wow.
picture in a hanging
Like a
scale.
scale.
Super cute. I feel like that's a really big difference. And then Mabry, you want to talk about
Mabry had a
postpartum?
good point today about it that I hadn't even thought about. With the swaddle.
Oh
versus-
yeah, just all of the little different things within right after birth that we do that in the hospital you don't think about our routine. That in the hospital, like when the baby's born, they put a hat on the baby, they swaddle the baby.
Yeah.
They'll, like Sarah said, take the baby to the warmer. They remove the baby from being that mother-baby unit, and as midwives, we're the only care provider that cares for both the mom and baby for 6 weeks. So some people choose to take their baby to a pediatrician right away.
Right.
But we are knowledgeable on basic newborn care and lactation support and all of that. So we can do that because we treat them as a unit. So when the baby's born, it goes straight to mom, and it stays on mom. And then maybe the baby will go stay with dad for a little bit while we take care of some of the things that mom needs done. But then the baby goes back to mom, and the baby starts latching whenever the baby's ready.
Wow.
And we follow the cues of the family. And at that point, we know them so well and all of the different little things about them because you're with your same midwife the entire time.
Right.
So you have your midwife from the start who's at every single one of your prenatal visits, maybe -1 if something really comes up.
Yeah.
And then the students, all of us are a part of the care too. So you really get to know everyone there. And then it's just all about that family and the baby. And it's so family-centered and mother-centered in all of the care. And we treat the baby as another human rather than just like this extra piece, which sometimes you forget about that.
That's true.
But this is this child's story, and their birth will impact the rest of their life. And just having those little tiny things that we think about, like the delayed cord clamping where we let the baby get all of its blood volume right away, and then not swaddling them because there's oxytocin hormones that are going to help the mom not bleed and help the baby initiate breastfeeding, which helps the mom not bleed, and just the bonding and all the different things. There's so many hormone cycles to it that when you intervene and cut into that, you may think you're doing something that's right, but it ends up being more harmful than helpful in the end.
Right.
And we just don't think about it.
And it's the bonding process. After a baby's born, we're gonna get vitals on mom and baby, and then we're gonna let them bond.
Yeah.
Skin to skin.
Let them, dad, baby, and mom, sit there. There's no rush.
Right.
Why would you rush and take your baby away and do that? Just give them that golden hour is what we call it of bonding, because it is just all the difference in the world between just letting them have that time and let it soak in. What did you just do? Look at what you just accomplished. Let it soak in. And then of course in the other room the midwives are all like
We need a minute too.
Yes, we need a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually great.
Yeah, and then one other thing that we do is we go see them at 2 days postpartum in their
Okay.
homes.
Yeah.
So you're not having to get out with your new baby and go see your doctor or your OB.
Put them back in a car.
We
drive
come
them all
to
the
your
way.
house because you're resting. You've just had
Yeah.
a baby, and we want our moms to be down and relaxing for 2 weeks at least after they have the baby. So we come to them.
Good.
And
Yeah.
I would like to interject something. We are not anti-medical.
Okay.
And we are not anti-hospital.
Yeah.
We're not sacrificing goats in the back. We're not dancing naked
Wait, so
under the
I was
moon.
too early for the chicken sacrifice? I really was hoping
We do
to.
dance under the moon sometimes.
Oh, fantastic. That's who doesn't do that, really?
Not
Yeah.
when there's a birth to do.
Well, obviously, yes. Yeah.
But we have really close associations with hospitals around here, and they
Right.
know us. We have a great reputation, and so when we need their expertise, it's great. We appreciate it, and we defer to them. Some of them, Texas Health, for example, will let us go with our client and stay with them throughout the whole birth,
That's
which
fantastic.
is great.
Yeah.
Not everybody will let us do that, but we have a really good relationship with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I just wanted to point that out, because sometimes they think, oh, you're so anti-medical. Not at all.
Right. Yeah.
Not at all. It's just not necessary in a
Right.
low-risk, healthy woman.
Yeah, there's
Right.
definitely a time and place, and we are
There is a
grateful
time,
that they have our back when we need them.
Yeah.
They're available.
Of course.
And we have
yeah.
their back. We,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it's a good relationship when it's needed.
Right. So I guess one of my final questions is, what does being a midwife mean to each one of you?
Oh boy, that may take a while.
That's a podcast. We're fun.
Let's see if we can do it in one sentence.
Each obviously each one of you are going to be different, but yeah,
We'll start
you
over
might
there.
you might echo. Yeah. No, put you on the spot. Or
No, I've just
No, all the
always
good
really
adjectives
cared
are going.
about women's rights to choose the best path for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it means being able to provide a care path for women that is whatever looks best to them. And I think wherever the safest place for them to have their baby is wherever they feel the safest.
Yeah.
So if we can provide that here at the birth center or at a home birth, I like that ability.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. The definition of midwife, it means with woman.
Yeah.
And so basically we really are just here to support whatever the people who come to our care want. We educate them, we put all the facts out there, we give them evidence-based information. And like Vicky was saying earlier with the childbirth education, you like get the knowledge into them, and these are the first parenting decisions they're making for their family.
Yeah.
And so we just support whatever that choice is. And so it's just to empower people in whatever they choose for their families.
I just like being a part of the whole dynamics of being a part of being with that family during this most special time,
Right.
and being able to assist them and just see their joy and being a part of that.
I think empowering women, like Mabry said, but taking that further, if you can empower a woman from the moment that she becomes a mom, you'll change the world. I mean, mothers raise everybody. We all have a mom. We all come
true.
from a mom. And so if they know from day one that they can do anything for their baby, that changes everything for them.
Wow, that's a hard one to follow.
That's why you should have started on this end, because by the time you get all the way around, yeah.
But it is such an honor to get to be like everyone has said, it's such an honor to get to be there, enjoy, and to get to, for women to have the respect that they're supposed to have, and to be
Right.
able to tell a good story the rest of their lives is what matters to me. And that the husband and family all involved in it is the most important thing to me.
I think, to me, being a midwife means being, it's not just about the families that we serve. It's also about our midwife sisterhood.
Oh,
It's being there
that's so
for
true.
other women. Being raised by midwives. Being like, I worked under her sister. And so being raised by midwives to become the midwife that I am today, being able to pass that on to future generations, like my daughter, who's wanting to be a midwife. To me, that's important, because we're safeguarding what is true and tangible and real. And it doesn't matter what happens politically or anything else outside of what matters at the end of the day is you have what you need. God equipped you to have your baby the way you want it. And that needs to be protected, I think.
Yeah.
That, to me, is very important.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Again, I don't want to get into what's happening politically, but unfortunately here in Texas, things could be going the other way when it comes to certain things. But I want to thank all of y'all for what you do for moms and for future moms. Again, some of you are moms. So thank you again for what you're doing. I mean, I'm a man. Again, I can't carry one that I know of. But
wait around a few years.
Maybe. Yeah. You never know. But thank you again for what you what you women are doing for other women, and it's fantastic.
Thank you for giving us a chance.
No problem. Yeah, so if people want to learn more about the Nest online, social media, nestmidwife.com.
And we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. We're going to be on Twitter pretty soon. And
we just got on Pinterest.
Hopefully not TikTok. No offense. I don't know. Only people are ready for that. Unless y'all want to start dancing, unless that could be a whole other thing. Yeah, exactly. Under the moon.
We have danced at birth.
We have danced at birth.
Yeah, we've danced with moms that are in labor. We've danced with them.
That's fantastic. Yes. See, you guys are providing so much.
Whatever comfort they need or whatever we can do for them, that's what we do.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank y'all again, thanks for coming on.
This was fun.
Anytime.
Appreciate you.
I'm here with Ann Garrity with the Symphony Arlington. How are you today, ma'am?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So the Symphony Arlington started in 2000. They started at TCC before moving on to the Rosebud Theater at UTA. And finally, they landed at the permanent residence of the historic Arlington Music Hall. Could you tell us more about how the symphony ultimately began?
Sure. So there were a few previous efforts at starting a symphony in the Arlington area, but they seemed to run upon some hard times and ended up folding. And so knowing that Arlington is the largest suburb in Metroplex, we decided this is something we wanted to definitely tap into. So we built on the successes that we had in Garland and in Las Colinas and founded Symphony Arlington, like you said, in the fall of 2000. So by playing in the three cities, we are able to share some of the expenses, and that allows us to have 8 concert seasons and bring in international guest artists and attract some of the best musicians in the Metroplex. And Symphony Arlington really has 3 things going for it when you compare it to the other 2 big symphonies in the area: geography, economics, and then the quality of musicians. For one thing, you don't have to drive all the way to Dallas or Fort Worth to see excellent classical music. You really get the best of it right here in Arlington. And the price of our tickets is less expensive than paying for parking at the Meyerson Symphony Hall. So it really, and of course parking is always free here at Symphony Arlington. So it really is very, very economical. And then as far as the quality of our musicians, our professional orchestra, they're career musicians. They include virtuoso instrumentalists from 17 nations throughout Europe, Asia, and North and South America. They participate yearly in competitive auditions for a seat in the orchestra. And then finally, we've got our beloved conductor, Maestro Robert Carter Austin. He is the music director for Symphony Arlington. He is so loved by our patrons and subscribers. He brings a half-century of experience to the podium, and he has had guest conducting appearances with over 50 orchestras in 18 countries. So we really do bring a lot to Arlington.
I mean, that's quite a resume.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
I mean, if you got 50 years doing anything and you're guest, conducting or whatever your profession is, if you're guest spotlighting somewhere, clearly you're doing something right. So
exactly.
Arlington's very lucky if since we have them or have him as the conductor. So Symphony Arlington just wrapped up a season, and the new Mozart con Amore season begins October 14th. what can people look forward to in the new season?
Okay, so Symphony Arlington's 2122 Mozart con Amore, which actually means Mozart with love. Right, I thought I'd share that with you. So that is our season for next year. It will have the 8 subscription concerts, which focus on the orchestral music of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. The repertoire will include symphonies, concertos, and overtures by Mozart, as well as by his contemporaries Haydn and Beethoven. We'll also have masterpieces by composers who were directly influenced by Mozart, such as Schubert and Mendelssohn. Then also joining the symphony this season will be some of our guest artists. We have one for each concert, but they are some of the among the world's leading classical soloists and conductors. And some of the ones that I'm just going to mention here are Clyburn competition pianist Lindsay Gerritsen in October, Houston Grand Opera soprano Dorothy Gall in December, guest conductor Juan Carlos Lamonaco of the Yucatan Symphony Orchestra in Mexico, along with Utah Symphony concertmaster Madeline Atkins in March, and then guest conductor Pascual Osa from the Madrid Symphony Orchestra in Spain in April. So you can see we've got a really great schedule. Other great things, we are going to have a return of our gourmet season next year. This is where subscribers will receive special discounts at the finest area restaurants with each subscription. So last year we were not able to do this because of the pandemic. So we had a lot of subscribers ask about it, but a lot of the restaurants couldn't do any kind of a deal last year. So we're real excited about starting that up again next year. We want to make our concert nights the ultimate date night in downtown Arlington. And then another thing that's exciting for next season is that we're going to continue our live stream of all of the concerts for those who aren't able to get out and see the concert in person. The live streams, we started them this last season. They're professionally produced. They're of the highest quality. We really, really are pleased with the company we've gone with, the production company that produces these. Full subscribers will get the live stream concerts along with all of their subscriptions. So if they can't go to the concert one night, they'll get the live stream sent to them regardless. And then it's also possible for people to purchase just live stream only subscriptions or live stream single tickets as well.
That's great. Could you possibly name some of the restaurants, or are we still keeping it under wraps because there's been no announcement yet?
We're still keeping it under wraps at the moment. But check out our website and for coming announcements on things like that.
Well, there we go. So what was your favorite part of the season that y'all just wrapped up?
There really was a lot that was wonderful about last season. It was a really challenging season, but there were some really wonderful things. And I've got to say that my very favorite part of it was sharing the joy with the patrons in the spring who finally felt safe enough to come to our concert after they were unable to come in the fall. So we had some people who were, who came the whole time, and that was incredible and wonderful. But there were those who were just really afraid to come out or seriously unable to come out because of the pandemic. And when they were able to come out on those last concerts in the spring, man, their expressions, they were just filled with joy and happiness. And that it just made my heart sing. It was so wonderful to see that and to share that with them. They were enjoying the live streams at home, but there's just nothing like getting out there for that concert night. And it was so, so wonderful. And then I'd have to say, if I was to pick my own personal favorite concert from last season, it would have to be the January concert with trumpeter Nathan Little. That repertoire just was so joyful and uplifting, and Nathan Little is really an amazing musician. I mean, the whole season was so great, but he just really stood out for me.
Right. I've enjoyed it now because you're seeing more people go out. They're feeling more comfortable going out, and just, you see the weight kind of lifted off their shoulders when they do go out again and see people, and they're like,
wow, this is, it's nice to be refreshing almost to be out in public again.
Exactly. There's such an appreciation that, people always appreciated these events, but it's just such a new sense of, kind of freedom, and, it's just we really appreciate what we missed. We really, really do.
Right. Yeah, 2020 definitely allowed us, or showed us that to appreciate what you actually have, and, actually able to miss things again, as opposed to just kind of, taking them for granted. They'll be around. Oh, they'll come back. You know what? Yeah, you might not see them for a year. So actually,
that's exactly right. See how you like that.
Yeah. Exactly. So Symphony Arlington has offered free sessions to children at the library before. How important is it to teach kids about music early?
So the earlier kids are exposed to live music and are able to actually hear, see, touch, and explore the different aspects of classical music and the orchestra, the more likely they are to want to learn to play an instrument. We just want to give kids the opportunity to see that playing music is fun and something they are capable of doing if they put their minds to it. There have also been numerous studies showing the correlation between music and math. What we're finding is that students who pursue classical music tend to perform better in math and science, are more likely to rank in the top of their high school classes, and are more likely to go on to successful college and professional careers. So the initial introduction we give preschool children to classical music can literally help shape the course of their lives. This summer we are doing our Kids Notes program again in the downtown library, although for more social distancing, they're putting it across the street in the City Council chamber building, and that we have 4 Thursdays set up in this summer, June 10th and 24th, as well as July 8th and the 22nd. And all of that information is on the calendar at the Downtown Arlington website as well.
That's awesome. So we have a segment on the show called Terms or Toppings. We're trying to find the best pizza place in Arlington. What is your favorite place in Arlington?
I'm going to have to go with Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, there you go. That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
So if people wanted to find y'all online, find that calendar, find you guys on social media, and buy tickets, where can they go?
All right. So our website is symphonyarlington.org. And we have Facebook and Instagram, and those are all Symphony Arlington. Twitter is @SymphonyARL. Then we have our season subscriptions are on sale now, and you can subscribe. Let me tell you the different options that are available for season subscriptions. We have the full subscription for all 8 concerts. We have mini subscriptions where you get to pick 4 concerts. There are flex subscriptions where you get 8 anytime tickets to use throughout the season. So you want to bring a group of 4 to 2 different concerts, that you use them that way, however you want to use them. And then we also are offering live stream only subscriptions. So you can purchase those on our website, or you can give me a call at 817-385-0484, or email me at gm@symphonyarlington.org. Now, single tickets for next season will be going on sale in July, and again, you'll be able to sign up on our website. And if you want to be able to get the information right away about when the tickets go on sale, go ahead and go to our website and go to the bottom of the page and sign up for our latest news, and I'll be sure to send you an email when those single tickets go on sale. And then the last thing I'd like to say is please, please, please donate to Symphony Arlington, and you can do that by clicking on our website again, www.symphonyarlington.org, or giving me a call at 817-385-0484.
That's everything. So thank you so much, Ann, for your time, and I look forward to coming out this season and checking out the Symphony Arlington.
Thank you so much for having me on, and I really do appreciate this, and I appreciate all you do for downtown Arlington.
Thanks. We're doing everything we can, little by little, to just bringing the city back together.
It is wonderful. Music to my ears.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our guest this week, of course, the midwives of the Nest Birthing Center in Mansfield. Thank you so much for talking with Rhodey. We loved hearing about what you do, and we'd love to talk to you again. Go ahead and check them out. And of course, the Symphony Arlington. This is something that I've been excited about for a long time. I want to take my kid. I don't know if she'd be into it, but I would be into it. And I think your kids might kind of be into it too. So please check that out. We have a lot of events coming up, like.
Yeah, now that everything is, everything's feeling a bit safer, we're getting all the vaccines and all that jazz, getting out there. Every Monday is trivia night at Dr. Jekyll's.
Every second and fourth Tuesday at Create Arlington, they have their open mic / poetry night. Get up there and wax poetically for everyone.
Excellent. Every Wednesday at Jambo's Barbecue. We have UTA Jazz Night from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m.
So, and if, once you're done with that, you've eaten the Big Sadie, I think that's what it's called, right? That big old, you've eaten that thing and you're about to explode, go to Division. You go to Division Brewing. Put some beer down there. That'll help, I promise. And while you're there, you can also do more trivia.
Yeah, they have a belt and everything. It's great. Every single Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m., Grounds and Gold host the open mic. I host every other week, so this week I will be hosting. And it's every time I host, it's incredible, and there's new acts, and I love it because sometimes they collaborate at the end. Sometimes, you get illusionists, you get poetry people, comedians. We had a voice guy come out one time. It's incredible. Yeah.
Every first and third Friday, head over to Inclusion Coffee for their open mic night. We've got plenty of cool acts out there. Go out. Downtown Arlington. You guys, go check all these things out. Arlington is open. It is ready to go. Go out and do not forget to
make sure to go and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.